Hello, Gametrollers and Whovians, and welcome to a new video. This is a bit of a different video. Today we're going to be talking about Doctor Who, specifically Series 11 of Doctor Who. Sort of doing like a little preview video slash discussion video, talking about, what's going to be happening, keeping you sort of like up to date or whatever, getting the basics down of the series and sort of getting my thoughts of it along the way. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So, just want to sort of like tell you something. Recording this from my computer. It's been an hour since I've tried to record this video. I'm wicked tired. So let's go. So the series 11, will have 10 episodes. Different format. For the previous series, we're going to have 10 sort of 60-minute episodes. I think like 50 to 60 minutes. The first episode, the premiere, is going to be like 65, maybe even 70 minutes long. So definitely a change in format and stuff like that. For the most part, the first 4 seasons were just 13 45-minute episodes, 40 to 45-minute episodes. Then, well, actually, that was the first 5 series. And then the 6th series, they sort of kept that, but then they split it in 2. So you had sort of like 2 sort of mini-series that sort of combined into one. They did that for Series 6 and Series 7. And then, of course, Series 8, 9, and 10 came along, and they just cut out an entire episode altogether. I don't know if it was intentional, because, 12 episodes for the 12th Doctor. I don't know if that was intentional, or if they just sort of did that and went, oh, that actually works. I don't know what was going on there, but yeah. But yeah, this is definitely probably the biggest format change for the show since 2005, really. Pretty much the biggest change, like in terms of just everything, like just how different it is. It feels like a completely different era for the show, even though it's technically just the same. It's like just the same show, but which I guess is Doctor Who's sort of like forte is just changing things up a lot. But yeah, it's definitely a big format change. It's definitely a positive. It's not a negative. It's not a horrible decision to cut it out to 10 episodes or whatever, because you would be tripping the fat a little bit. You never know. Maybe those 2 other episodes would have been hot garbage, or maybe they could have been sort of just like precious gems. Like we may have lost a fear her in a love and monsters, or we may have lost like a girl in the fireplace and a school reunion. You just don't know what's going on. So we don't know. We don't know what the quality of the episodes are gonna be. Right now. I mean, it's a week and a half away from like recording this. I'm recording this on the 27th of September. So it's it's definitely gonna be a long ways away until I see like the finale or whatever. But yeah, so it's definitely a positive. It's not a negative. Trimming the fat and stuff, but I'd much rather prefer just watching like 13 mediocre episodes than 10 outstanding episodes. Like that's just me. I'm more of a quantity over quality guy, but they're obviously trying to go mostly for the quality with the season, which I'm not gonna be mad at them wanting to have better quality episodes, but yeah. So besides the format itself, the actual episodes themselves, we're gonna have 4 sort of modern day Earth, aliens attacking London and Sheffield, sort of episodes. Then we're gonna have free space / futuristic episodes, where like they're in like 100 years or like 200 billion years in the future, or or like on Mars or something. And then we're going to have free historical episodes. Now, this is going to be interesting because these are going to be pure historical episodes, which I don't think we've had at all in the new season. In the new series at all, in the new show. We've pretty much only had pseudo-historical episodes where they've gone in the past and like met a historical figure or gone to like some big historical event, but then an alien attacked or something like that. We've never really just had them just go into the past just for the past and sort of had a story sort of just there with the past, not involving any alien stuff. Like the most sci-fi stuff, the sci-fi thing about the episode would just be the fact that it's Doctor Who and we have like an alien that has a super magic box that's running around the place with a super magic wand. Yeah, so the last one I think we've had in terms of just pure historical episodes, I think was Black Orchid with sort of the Fifth Doctor. And then that itself was like the first historical episode, like pure historical episode since like the 60s. We mostly had them during the First Doctor days, like during the majority of the First Doctor episodes. And then, Second Doctor had a few of them, but they mostly went deeper into the sort of sci-fi stuff, going to like alien planets and sci-fi stuff, or just having the pseudo-historical episodes and stuff like that with the Second Doctor. And then, Third Doctor came in with Unit, and then Fourth Doctor just decided he just wanted to go around the universe. So, Black Orchid was the first sort of like pure historical episode, and I guess the last one of the classic series and just sort of the series in general until now, which we'll be having a few historical episodes. I'll be getting into them when I get into the specific episodes, but for now I want to talk about the characters. So obviously, first female Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, the 13th Doctor. I don't really have any sort of like reservations or like, oh my god, this is gonna be terrible, blah blah blah, the Doctor shouldn't be a woman. Missy worked extremely well. I honestly kind of prefer her over the Johnson Master, just the tiniest little bit. Mostly it was just due to the writing. They just wrote her really well, which they should do for the 13th Doctor. That's sort of where it depends. It doesn't really matter, what you got between your legs, as long as you can act, and then as long as somebody can write properly for you. And also, they aren't going to focus on the fact that she's a woman either, which is sort of like one of the big like issues I sort of have, is I really don't want it to just be constantly throwing it in your face that, hey, she's a woman and she's better than every man here. Like, I don't want to be like them to just go super agenda PC mode with it. Like, honestly, quite a few like things are doing nowadays is just throwing it in your face, instead of just making it, like a thing. Like back in the day, Lara Croft or like whoever, Wonder Woman, blah blah blah, they were just strong female characters. You didn't need to shove it in your face that they were strong female characters, and like have them outdo all the guys all the time and blah blah blah. So yeah, but considering the fact that they didn't even know who they were casting, they were just assuming it was just going to be another dude. They sort of just wrote the episode like it was just going to be another dude, and then they realized it was a chick. So obviously a few modifications, I guess, had to come into the episodes, like, having them call her a she, madam and stuff like that. And that's basically sort of like the gist of it. So they're not going to focus on the fact that she's a woman now, especially considering they're all going to be like completely different characters and completely new characters from what we've seen previously. So it's not like she'll have to like show like, hey, I'm the Doctor and I'm a chick now. Is that weirding you out a little bit? It's like, no. Like, these characters pretty much just know the Doctor as 13, basically. It's just sort of like how Amy just knew 11 as 11. Like, I don't think she met a single other Doctor on screen or even saw another Doctor on screen. For the most part, she's seen like previous companions, but yeah, that was like in a deleted scene anyways. But yeah, so 13th Doctor, I don't really have any reservations, against her or anything like that, because she's a woman. Jodie Whittaker is a pretty decent actor. I mean, she's not too great. I mean, she's not the greatest actress of all time. Like Broadchurch, for example, I saw like the first season of Broadchurch, which she was in, and she just basically just like got outplayed by Olivia Colman. Like, Olivia Colman was the MVP of that show, man. She was amazing in that. Like, Jodie Whittaker was kind of like, that's fine. Especially that's like the scene in the last episode. Not gonna spoil it, but there was like a dramatic reveal sort of going on in the last episode. They figured something out, and then her acting in that scene was beautiful. Like, you genuinely felt all the emotions going through her veins. You know, you wanted to cry, you wanted to punch somebody in the face. Yeah, so she's definitely very good, Jodie Whittaker, but she's not the greatest. But it doesn't really matter what you do outside of the show, because I saw a scene from like another show with Matt Smith in it, and he was basically just playing just like another dude. He was the equivalent of an extra that got a few lines. But like looking at that scene and then looking at the 11th Doctor, like that's completely different. Like he turned it up a notch for the 11th Doctor. So it really doesn't matter what you do before or even after you do the show. Like when you are the Doctor, you are something completely different. That's a different beast of a character. So you really can't like say like, oh, Jodie's gonna be terrible because she has acted in other things since she was terrible in them, or she was great in other things she's gonna be great as the Doctor. Is like, yeah, it's not a given. But then of course we have Bradley Walsh as Graham. We have Tosin Cole as Ryan, and we also have Mandip Gill as Yasmin, the new companions for this season. Now, I don't know much about British television. Like, I've only ever seen Doctor Who, Sherlock, and like the first season of Broadchurch. So that's basically the gist of all my knowledge of British television. Really, like I've seen a couple clips of like Top Gear and like the Graham Norton, god dang, show, and that's basically like it. So I don't really know much about British television. I haven't seen these guys in anything else. Especially like Bradley Walsh, I hear is like amazing. So you know, I've never seen him before, so I'm ready to be excited. He was also in Sarah Jane Adventures, which I've seen reactions to. I haven't actually seen the show itself because honestly don't really care. Like I definitely acknowledge the existence of Torchwood and Sarah Jane Adventures, but I won't waste my time and watch them. But he was in that as like a clown character and like doing some other stuff. So he's definitely been in the sort of Doctor Who universe before. So he should have a sort of familiarity with the show. But yeah, I'm really excited. The character I'm really excited for is Ryan. Like, that dude just seems awesome. Like, he's like late level Mickey in terms of just coolness. Like, just he has like a coolness about him. Like he just seems like he can like wreck somebody, you know, like physically and verbally, just by his mere presence, you know. Like that he just has a really good presence to him. I'm not sure what his character is gonna be just completely. Like I sort of just got the sort of like cool character sort of vibe from him. And of course Graham just seems like a laid back old dude, but then some bits of the trailer he seems like an absolute psycho. So he may just be like laid back and normal, but then if like stuff gets serious, he's gonna, you know, go a bit ballistic, blowing stuff up and stuff like that. Besides that, I don't really know what Graham's character is going to be, and I just can't get a single read on Yasmin. Like, I don't know what's going on. I can't tell if she's going to be a funny character. I can't tell if she's going to be a serious character. I can't tell, like, if what kind of relationship she's going to have with 13, which I'm really interested in like seeing what the relationships are gonna be like, you know, between like the Doctor and Ryan, Doctor and Graham, Doctor and Yasmin, and of course inter-companion, you know, relationships, like how's like Graham gonna fit in with like Ryan and Yasmin, who were like the same age, and then he's like got like a couple years on him, you know, like how are they gonna interact and stuff like that. I'm really excited to see relationships, but I just can't get a read on Yasmin at all, like at all, you know. I really can't tell what's going on with her. I mean, I can sort of get a read on the Doctor, you know. She seems pretty doctorly like. She seems like she's going to be sort of like a mix of like the 5th Doctor, a little bit of 10 and 11 in there, you know, even though apparently she's never seen the show before, and even while acting she just didn't really know. She hasn't seen the show before. but she definitely has got the Doctor sort of down pat for the most part from like the trailers and stuff. Like the lines of dialogue, which I'll get into later, that we've seen in the trailers have been pretty good. So I'm excited to see her representation of the Doctor with the 13th Doctor, and I'm excited to see what the companions are going to bring to the table. Besides that, literally no clue like what other character is going to be. I know Alan Cummings is going to be like King James in like one of the historic episodes, and I know there's a black lady. It's like they specifically just showed her just to be like, hey, we got a black lady on board. But that lady, I can't remember her name. I saw there was a picture. I may put it like on screen. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with the editing of this video, but there was a picture, like a little preview picture that had her in it, and she was like sort of like with Graham. So I'm assuming she's gonna be like Graham's love interest or slash wife or whatever, or maybe even like maybe the relationship with Ryan and Graham is like she's Ryan's mom or something, and then like Graham's like their stepdad, his like stepdad. I don't know. Like that's just what I'm guessing from like what I saw. So I don't know. I really don't know. So maybe Graham and Ryan will be like father and son or something. I don't know. There was that, and then that's basically all. Like no other characters really have been seen, or at least have had like details revealed on them. We really don't know anything about sort of like characters and stuff, which they really are doing pretty good with sort of like the marketing in that way. Like obviously they've had their sort of PC marketing, like Jodie's the best just because she's the woman sort of moments going on, which is always gonna bug me, you know. I mean, obviously I don't really care that she's a woman, you know. Is she good? Is she a good doctor? That's what I care about. You know. And is the writing good? Yeah, I don't care that you got people of different ethnicities for the first time. I care if the episodes are good. That's really like just because they're black doesn't mean the episode is gonna be good, y'all. I'm just saying. It doesn't really matter. But yeah. So that's it for sort of the characters. Now for the actual episodes, you know, sort of delving deeper into the episode besides just, you know, setting and stuff. First episode we know a lot about, and I'll be doing like an extra preview episode for the first episode itself, hopefully, like around next Saturday or something, before like the first episode airs. I'm gonna go deeper into it, like have like a sort of like a basic summary of what the episode is gonna be like from what we've seen and stuff like that. But the first episode is gonna be in Sheffield. Is going to be called The Woman Who Fell to Earth. Obviously, the cliffhanger from the last Christmas special, which was Peter Capaldi's Regeneration episode. We saw he turned into Jodie Whittaker, and then the TARDIS was like, what's going on here? Tossed her out, and then she was just like falling down, and that was then the sting. So she's gonna like land and stuff like that, and then some alien bizarreness is gonna happen. She's gonna get her new outfit, or at least a new screwdriver, and stuff is gonna shenanigans, antics will occur. But yeah, then the second episode is called The Ghost Monument, and I've heard from somebody else that it's gonna be in on like another planet or something, or maybe like that. The bits in the trailer that supposedly like happen in the Ghost Monument episode are like sort of like the episodes where the bits in the trailer where they're like in a deserty sort of like sandy beach area, and then there were like the weird black suited people that looked like they were like the classic Santarans and that stuff. So apparently that could be happening in the second episode, which from what I've seen, it feels like they've only really shown like the majority of like the press stuff and like trailers and stuff have just been from like the first two episodes, from what I've gathered. You know, some of them obviously probably take place on another thing, like some of the obviously like the Rosa Parks stuff take place in like another episode or whatever. But yeah, so the first episode we've seen a lot of in terms of like trailers and like the trailers and like press releases and like press pictures and stuff like that. But yeah, the first episode, then the second episode, and then we have no clue what's going on after that. We don't know which episodes go where. Like, is the Rosa Parks episode like the finale, or is it like the third episode? We don't know. But then, yeah. But besides that, we also have a Rosa Parks episode where we're going back in. I always forget where this is. Hang on. Yeah, it's in Montgomery, Alabama. Obviously Rosa Parks. Sort of like civil rights sort of thing, 1950s. Gonna be pretty interesting. The bits in the trailer that supposedly take place during the Rosa Parks episode are absolutely, like, I just love them. They're beautiful. Just sort of like the set designs and stuff like that. Like, honestly, when the first trailer dropped and I saw that bit of them like running in like this like 1950s like sort of like that was amazing. I loved that, man. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yes, all kinds of yes. But yeah, I'm excited for the Rosa Parks episode. Then we have a sort of King James 1 sort of, I think, medieval sort of episode. Hang on. Yeah, it's gonna be like a medieval sort of medieval England sort of thing, which I'm excited for. I don't think we've had a single medieval episode, and if we've had one, it's been a while, or they didn't really delve too deep into it. I think the Robin Hood one was technically like a medieval sort of like late medieval Renaissance era sort of episode. We haven't had yet, but like the Robin Hood one was like Crusade times or whenever Robin Hood takes place. So yeah, we haven't had one in sort of like this specific setting yet with the King James one, which I'm excited to see. I don't have a clue, as I said, what's gonna happen in it. Like, apparently Alan Cummings is gonna be the villain in it. I know that much. He's gonna be playing King James, but I don't know like what the plot's gonna be like. Why is he the villain? Like, what beef does he have with the Doctor? You know, what's going on there? Does he want to like marry the Doctor? Which obviously isn't gonna happen because, as I said, the episodes are basically written for men. It would be weird if they shaped out an entire episode around King James trying to get into a male Doctor's yams, if you get my drift. But yeah, we are gonna have that one. And then we don't know what the third historic episode is, or at least I don't know. I didn't really delve too deep into it. But we don't know what's going to happen there. But then we have some other episodes which I don't think we've really just had sort of like compacted or anything. Like, we haven't had anything sort of set like this is going to happen, and this is the setting, or this is a character, blah blah blah. Apparently there's going to be an episode with spiders. We don't know where is that going to be, or what's going to happen with that. Like, is that going to be a space episode? Is that going to be the third historic episode? Like, what's going on there with the giant spiders? There's also like this bits in the trailer of like this giant like spaceship thing that was on like a desert planet, and then there was like another one with like sort of like a futuristic hospital looking place. And then there was like a bit in the first trailer with like horse running, so maybe that was like either the King James episode or like a cowboy episode, which would be interesting. A Wild West episode would be. I don't know what to really make of that, but yeah. So there's quite a few things we don't know. We don't know any other plot. We don't know any other anything really. But yeah, I mean, the writers, we've sort of had interesting writers. I can't really remember all of them, but we've had writers for like dramas. I think we have a writer from like a sitcom. We have writers from like books and stuff like that. We have a horror writer and stuff like that. So there's definitely gonna have some variety to it, which is gonna be nice to see. But yeah, that's kind of all we know about the specific episode stories and like what's gonna be going on in them and stuff like that. And yeah, I think I kind of covered it all. Yeah, that's pretty much Series 11 in a nutshell. That's pretty much all we know, thanks to just the brilliant marketing of Series 11. I'm really excited for it. I'm just excited for more Doctor Who, you know. Like, most people are just hyped for it because new Doctor, new everything, you know, probably didn't like it, the Capaldi days, probably dropped off at the Matt Smith days. Maybe just didn't watch the show when it revived. Probably don't even know the show existed until now. You know, there's a lot of new fans and a lot of coming back fans and a lot of just fans who just are still watching. I really don't care. Like, all the format changes wouldn't have like enticed me to watch it more. They definitely have interested me more, because I feel like if you just had like another dude doctor with like another series that was like 12 to 13 episodes and stuff like that, like I probably wouldn't be as like hyped to see like what new is in store. And if they weren't, oh, I forgot to mention this, right? No old school villains. That's something I completely forgot to mention. No old school villains, no Daleks, no Cybermen, no Weeping Angels, nothing from like any previous Doctor Who. Just gonna be completely new villains, monsters, and stuff like that, which is a negative and a positive. Obviously, excited to see new stuff, and hopefully that just means that they're gonna have to go big and stuff like that to see like really what's gonna be going down. You know, like what kind of new villains are gonna like take the place of the Daleks or something. You know, like I'm pretty excited to see what they have in store, but also I feel like because of just how many changes they're making, and just the fact that we're not gonna have any old school villains or aliens or anything like that, that we're gonna be like, we definitely are gonna lose that sense of familiarity with like the rest of the show. It definitely feels like a completely different show. You definitely don't feel like, oh, I'm just watching Doctor Who. It feels like, oh, I'm watching a sci-fi show called Doctor Who, but it doesn't really feel like it, because where the Daleks at? Where the Cyberman at? You know. But yeah, but I think it kind of just makes me excited to see series 12 now, because hopefully by series 12, Chibnall will be like, okay, we did all these new all this new stuff. Maybe people will enjoy it. Maybe people will hate it. Who knows? I haven't seen it yet. But let's bring back some old stuff. Let's bring back the Daleks. Make them fight a race that we came up with in series 11. That's something I want to see. You know, like what they did in the pilot with voice crack. What they did in the pilot with Heather, like taking on the Dalek and stuff like that. That was wicked cool. You know, actually seeing a Dalek and then a new enemy sort of like come face to face and stuff like that was pretty interesting. So I hope they do stuff like that for like series 12, hopefully. Sort of like having a classic villain, better than having like a new villain sort of intertwined with all that and stuff would be pretty interesting. But yeah, that's basically it. It sort of feels like a new show. I'm excited for it because it's the show that I like. Really, it's one of my favorite shows of all time right now. I'm excited to see what they have in store. I heard the first episode is good from like the early screenings and stuff like that, which they show it to the press. They have some pretty good reviews. I don't really care about good reviews. Like some episodes I really like get like terrible reviews, you know, and then some episodes I dislike with a passion, like Hyde. Got like good reviews and stuff like that. So, and then some get bad reviews, some get good reviews. I really don't care about reviews. But yeah, especially considering the fact that I feel like no matter what, like if you're on one side of the camp or not, like you have to be neutral like me for me to really care. Like for the most part, like 80% of the fans, earlier on one side of the camp or not, they're like, I hate women. Like the super misogynistic dudes who just don't want a woman, you know, in the role, or all the changes and stuff like that, blah blah blah, and that are just gonna hate it no matter what. And then you have the people who are like, yay, it's a woman, we finally have a woman, everything with women is the best. And then all the reviews are just gonna be positive no matter what from that person. So I really am not gonna care about that, about reviews in general. But yeah, I'm excited to see it. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you're excited to see. Tell me what you think is going to happen, blah, 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 in Series 11. I'll see you for my Woman Who Fell to Earth preview, hopefully. Sometime in the future, hopefully. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Troll on, babe.